Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Marianne and in today's video I am going to do a paper test. One of the frequently asked questions I get is what weighted paper I use for my planning and budgeting. So in today's video I'm going to test out 3 different weight paper. The first one is an 80 GSM paper. Next, a 100 GSM paper. And finally, a 120 GSM paper. I'll pop the link below to these brand of paper in case you're in Australia. Next, I will also use different types of pens. So the first one is this Pilot Friction pen. So this one is a clickable one with a nice fine tip. And this is the pen I use for my budgeting. I will also test paper with a Muji gel pen in 0.38mm. As well as a 0.5mm gel pen. These are the ones I use for my habit tracking. Next, I will test out with a Pentel Energel needle tip in 05, and this is the pen I use for my everyday planning. I will also test out the paper with these Montmartre, I think I'm saying that right, fine liners in 0.3, 0.5 and 1.0mm fine liner pens. So this is what the tip looks like. And I use these pens when I am doing my cover pages for my bullet planning. So I use them to outline my drawings. Next, I will test out the paper with the Zebra mild liners. So these are the highlighters that I use for my budgeting and my expense tracking, my daily planning and list of stuff. Oh, actually the Zebra mild liners are double-sided, so you've got the chiseled tip as well as the fine tip end. Next, I'll test out Tombow Dual brush pens or brush markers. So one side is the brush tip and on the other you have the fine tip. Pop the lid back on, the fine tip. And I will also test with a Muji highlighter pen with window. So the chisel tip has a clear window, so when you're highlighting your page you can clearly see the print, and the other side is the fine tip. And I will also test out these Daiso highlighter marking pens. So they're like a Zebra mild liner dupe with the chisel tip and just one-sided. Just move that so it fits the screen. And finally I'm going to also test the paper with Typo dual end markers. One side are the brush tips and the other side are fine liner tips. So I've written on the different weighted paper off camera to ensure that this video isn't so long. So let me just play with the lighting. So here I've tested all the different pens. I've drawn lines, squares, filled in the boxes, and with the highlighters and brush markers I've done the highlighter or brush pen side, and this is how it looks on the other side of the page. So as you can see, there is a bit of ghosting on the other side of the paper, and you can also see a tiny bit of bleeding on the corners of the boxes and at the end of the hand lettering. And so if you're doing a lot of writing on your page on an ATGSM paper, you will see quite a bit of ghosting with all the different highlighters, markers and pens. So next, let's have a look at the 100 GSM paper. Again, with all the different pens. So drawn lines, squares, filled in boxes, hand lettering font, highlighters, brush markers and fine tip. Did all the different tests, and here's how it looks on the other side. So the ghosting isn't as visible as it is on the ATGSM paper, and there is no bleed through in the corners of the boxes or at the end or hand lettering. So it's not too bad. So if you can only get your hands on a 100 GSM paper, it's not as bad as a normal copy paper. And finally, we have the 120 GSM, which is the weighted paper that I use. So it's a lot thicker, sturdier. It's nice on your planners when you're turning the pages. It's not as flimsy. Again, we did the, oops, forgot to finish the label on that one. Did the felt tips, lines, boxes, filled in boxes for when you're doing habit tracking, if you're doing hand lettering, or you're doing some coloring and doodles. And this is what it looks like on the other side. Very minimal ghosting, so that's what it looks like far away. What I might do is I'm going to put them side to side so you can clearly see how each weighted paper looks with the ghosting. So 80, 100 and 120 GSM. And let me just fix the zoom. And so there you have it. The left hand side, the 80, you can clearly see ghosting, but the 120, very minimal ghosting and no bleed through. So that is the 3 paper weighted test. And these are the pens, highlighters, markers that I use. And you can get similar ones, either cheaper versions or a little bit more high end, but 120 for myself is the paperweight I use. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.